Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and what I got for you today is the F949 Cessna 182 from WLToys. Why am I reviewing this? Well, currently I think this is about one of the lowest cost, if not the lowest cost, 3-channel aircraft trainer that you can currently purchase, which makes it something you might want to consider. Currently, I believe it's under $40 shipped to your door for, with shipping. I challenge you to find another 3-channel aircraft ready to fly in that price range. So that's why I want to fly this. Some people that have been flying quadcopters enough want to transition into aircraft also. This is one that you might want to consider, the little Cessna 182 F949 from WLToys. Another good one that you might want to consider is the F959, another 3-channel aircraft out there. But this one here, nice little trainer. We're going to fly it today. It's a very simple little aircraft. It's run by a 3.7 volt battery. It has 3 little brushed motors in the front here that operate in tandem there to, actually more than tandem and try to spin your propellers in the proper direction, but also to give you more than enough power to lift this aircraft. I got somewhat of a wind today, so this is going to be a challenging flight to see how this little thing performs with wind. But again, being a 3-channel aircraft, what that means is you have control over the throttle on the aircraft, you have control over the rudder on the aircraft, and you have control over on the elevator of the aircraft. Going over the controller real quick, showing you the controller. It is your basic WLToys model controller. You have trim buttons, and you will need to use these trim buttons for particularly for pitch probably, and also some rudder trim. We'll find out here shortly how much trim we're going to need from takeoff. But since this is going to be the first flight, as soon as I get into the air, I guarantee I'm going to be pressing these trim buttons quite a bit to try to smooth out that flight. And you have rates. This is your rate button. You can this controls the amount that the rudders will and the elevator will move when you give it some control here. Starting out in beginner rate, it'll be very general controls, but if you want to do acrobatics, you can with this. Press this button one time and it will increase the amount those control surfaces will move and enable you to do much greater rolls and loops with this particular aircraft. Okay, to start this up, wind's picking up. It's going to be fun and challenging. You take the little battery, and the battery is in here, and to get at that battery, it's kind of hard to open this door. I always use a key or something to pry it open. Let me find an appropriate key to get it in there. I got a small key right here, and I pry it open like so. Don't lose that door. That door can pop off easy. And we're going to plug in the battery. Now, since this does not have gyros, so we're in no rush here to get that battery in there and get this on the ground. So I think some people are inferring that there is gyros on these, but this does not have gyros stabilization. So you're going to be flying this by the seat of your pants, which is good if you're looking for a trainer. And closing the door. And it's a little 3.7 volt, 500 milliamp hour with white Losi connector. Your standard X5C battery won't fit in that though, unfortunately, because that battery is more square shaped than rectangular shaped like the X5C. But you can see we got some wind here, so this is going to be challenging. And with wind, you always want to take off into the wind. So we are going to do that. Okay. And going downwind, and actually I don't need to do much trim to this. Let's see how much trim I need. Actually none at all. It seems to be pretty stable. Now unfortunately that wind is coming from the direction of the sun. So I'm going to go over here. Now the range on this is predicted to be at about 200 meters. Which is pretty darn far for this little aircraft. We don't need to fly 200 meters. But turning it back toward us, I'm going to try to keep it close so you can see it. We're not going to fly too far. Now, this little aircraft, if it gets unstable, just let go of the sticks and it will level itself. Cutting back on the throttle, bringing it closer. And trying to bring it toward me. And we'll do a little flyby here. Doing a little flyby, we're going to turn to the left a bit, get a little lower. And coming back toward me again. But yeah, I'm flying, and it's about a 5-knot breeze going by here. And it's able to fly in it. I'm going downwind. Coming by again. So yeah, this is a nice little trainer. Again, for $40, I challenge you to find a 3-channel aircraft out there. A 3-channel trainer that you can do this with. Going to a higher rate. Giving it a little more throttle. I want to try something. Turning, and going back to beginner rate. I tried a wing over there, folks, and it winged over. Coming back down and low. I'm way out of the range where you're going to be able to see it on this camera. So I'm sorry about that. I apologize, folks. Coming back down, and it's just gliding. I'm gliding it down, and it glides. Here it comes. And there goes the motor again. Now, they say that you can fly this for 15 minutes. You know, that might be possible if you fly it at low power like I'm doing. It doesn't take much to get this into the air, as you can see here. Let me trim it up a bit. A little bit of downward trim. Just one. I just tried one little downward because I was getting a little bit of fugoids there. When you get fugoids, try downward trim to smooth it out. And downward trim is you push up on the button. This is the trim button right there, folks, for elevator. And that seemed to smooth it out. I want to bring it in close, do a flyby over my head. With this wind, it's a little bit challenging. It's buffeting it. But a little 949, I like it. Very simple to fly. But you know, beginners will find it a little bit challenging. And it is a little challenging too when you're flying in the wind. This is not a windy day flyer by any means, folks. You're going to need a little bit of skill to fly it on windy days. I recommend, if you do get this, you practice on windless days. It'll make it easier for you to learn. But still, a lot of fun for 40 bucks. Somewhat fun. But I'm really curious to see how much flight time you can get. I find that 15-minute claim hard to believe. But yeah, I didn't want to do any acrobatics. Let's take it up high and see if I can get at least a loop. I want to do a loop. Going up a little bit higher. Going to higher rate. Going up a little higher. And no, it stalls. Going back to beginner rate. It just doesn't have the oomph, folks, to be an acrobat, to do acrobatics with it. So, oh, I hear a raven. I could chase the raven. Oh, there he is. He's flying a thermal. There's a thermal up there today. But I'm not going up that high. I want you folks to see this. So, here comes another buffeting of wind. Fight that wind. Oh, that wind's picking up. That's from that thermal. So it's just hovering there, folks. Look at that. In the headwind, right over my head. And going downwind. Whoosh, it goes downwind fast. Coming back upwind, going into the wind. So, oh yeah, it works just fine. Not a lot of power in it, but boy, that raven's going up high fast. If I get into that thermal, this would go up high with him. So, great little park flyer. If you got a little park to fly in, yeah, you can keep this in the park easily. Boy, I'm watching that raven. He's rocketing up there in that thermal. That's a strong thermal. So, well, just an easy little flyer. We'll see what the maximum flight time is on this, because I am going to fly until that battery goes out. Going downwind, that wind's picking up again. See how fast that wind is? And it comes around. Let's come down a little bit lower. I'm just got barely any throttle on all of this. Just barely any throttle. But it's staying in the air. Ooh, oh, I'm going to need a little bit more though. There. But again, yeah, you could fly this thing out to 200 meters if you want. It's going to be hard to see at 200 meters. I guarantee it'll be hard to see at 200 meters. Whoosh. Going back upwind again. A little more throttle. A little bit too low there. Fighting the wind. But yeah, this is one of the better little trainers. Another one, like I said, that you might want to consider is the F949. That's an excellent flyer also. That's a real excellent flyer. It's quite a bit more expensive than this one though. I think its price is around, it used to be inexpensive, but its popularity has increased greatly. It is a good flyer and a great airplane, and because of that, its price has gone up. But this one here is still a great beginner's trainer, and it's going too high. Got to cut that throttle back. Coming back down again. Just flying it left-handed or right-handed. Trying to get back toward me. I'm going to push down on the pitch. See if I can fight the wind that way. Get a little more speed. Pushing down on the elevator. Going upwind. And then coming back downwind. And going back overhead. And going to the right. We'll do a couple figure eights over my head. I ain't kidding, this being a long flyer. It is a long flyer. I hope my camera battery lasts. You folks are going to get bored watching this. But then there are some of you out there that want to learn to fly. Yeah, here you go. Here's a nice little learn to fly airplane. The 182 from Cessna. Yeah, just set that throttle to low setting. I got it less than half throttle. And I got a wind, like I said. Even at less than half throttle, it's fighting it. But again, high winds, this is not going to be able, you're not going to be able to fly this. Up to about 5 miles per hour. Yeah, you can fly it. Boom, bada boom. Coming around. don't know what this right button is for. It beeps, but it doesn't do anything, I don't think. Yeah, just leave it in gentle rate. You don't need the high rates on this, because this just does not do acrobatics. You put it in a high rate, it gets a little squirrely. Leave it in low rate, and it's nice and gentle flyer. And I got to cut back on that throttle. If you find yourself going up higher and higher, you got to cut back on the throttle. That'll bring you back down, folks. Use the throttle as for climbing and descending for you new flyers out there. That'll help you climb and descend. This thing more or less stabilizes itself. If you get into trouble, just let go of the sticks. It doesn't have stabilizers. The way it stabilizes itself is through the wing dihedral on this aircraft. You know, the angle. Let me show you that angle. See, you know, that wing isn't straight. As you see, it's bent upward. That's what stabilizes the airplane. And all you got to do is let go of the sticks if it gets squirrely. Let go of that right stick in particular and center it. I'll demonstrate that. Let's go upwind. If I got time to demonstrate that where the battery gives. And that wind is picking up a bit. Okay, I'm going to do a hard over here. Hard bank to the right, and then I'm going to let go of the stick to show you that. See? And then it stabilizes itself. Hard over to the left, let go of the stick, and it stabilizes itself. So, very important to know that, folks. Yeah, don't overcorrect. If you find yourself in trouble, let's do that again. Just let go of the stick, and it will stabilize itself. Oh, let's see if I can get a little closer to show you that. It's kind of hard to see way up there where I'm at. But that's why this is a trainer. It can do that. It has nice dihedral on the wing. But again, being a trainer, it's not very acrobatic. You know, acrobatic aircraft, you do that, they're not going to stabilize themselves as well. I'm cutting off the throttle to glide back down to me. That wind is picking up. Okay, let's get it closer. Fighting the wind. Okay, let's do a squirrely maneuver. And let go of the stick, and it stabilizes itself. I'm doing this low to the ground. I shouldn't be doing that. But squirrely maneuver, let go of the stick, and it stabilizes itself. See? So that's why this one is simple to fly. Just stay calm, let go of the stick, and it should stabilize itself. Also, what I liked is this thing was more or less balanced and ready to go right out of the box. I didn't have to do any balancing to get the center of gravity down on this. It was good to go. You know, I just unpacked this last night and put it together. And it's flying well. Doing a good little job. Good long flyer too. With a little 3.7 volt, 500 milliampere hour battery. A little more throttle there. Yeah, my wife's getting bored in the car watching me fly this little airplane. And you guys might be getting bored at home because this is a long flyer. They're all right. I can't believe how long this thing's flying. On a little 500 milliampere hour battery. But you know, airplanes, as compared to quadcopters, are much more efficient. That's why in flying, they're not beating the air trying to stay in the air. You know, they got wings. You just need a little forward oomph on those wings to get you in the air. So that's why this has much longer flight time than, say, a quadcopter or a helicopter. Those type of aircraft are clawing at the air to stay up there. This isn't. You know, this is just gently flying. nice little gentle flyer. Come back down here. You're getting way up too high. F182. Or Cessna 182 F949. Let's glide down. Cutting off the throttle entirely. Gliding back down into the wind. It's just hovering there in the wind. Coming down gently. Increasing the throttle gently. Not a bad little airplane at all. Not bad at all. Now it's too small, I think, to lift the camera. If you want to lift the camera, you're going to need the 959, the glider, 3-channel glider with motor. This one just doesn't have the wingspan to provide the sufficient lift to lift a camera as compared to like the 959. That easily lifts the camera. But this is sufficient to go and take to one of your local little parks and fly around and learn to fly. The 959 is a little bit big and needs a little more room to fly around. This one does not. This one, you can stay kind of close. You know, this is a step above, say, like the Flybear 2-channel aircraft. This would be your next step above that in learning to fly. Going downwind. I'm surprised how well this little thing flies. I thought it'd be real squirrely, but it's not. You know, if you're gentle with the sticks, and it's very forgiving. You know, just let go of that stick and it centers itself very quickly, which I would find that's surprising also for this thing. So yeah, WLToys has a nice little airplane here. This has been out for a couple of years. It's starting to get a little weak now. I'm needing to give it more throttle to stay in the air. I'm going to call it quits here, folks. I'm going to say that's its flight time because I don't want to wear out the battery. We are going to land it here shortly. That's it. Yeah, there's still a little more flight time on it, but it was starting to require a little more throttle, and I don't want to hurt that battery in there. So overall, yeah, this is a nice little airplane. A great little trainer. I highly recommend it, and also recommend the 959 if you're interested in throwing a camera on the plane. 959 is bigger, though. You're going to need more space to fly it. This one's a great little flyer to fly in a park. If you have a park about, I don't know, about 50 meters in circumference, you know, this one would do it, you know. So, hope you enjoyed this flight. This is Quadcopter 101, signing out with the F949 Cessna 182 from WLToys. Hope you enjoyed this flight.